This is a nice joiner. Put one end in halfway, and then I just crimp it. And then once you're done, you feed the other end in, crimp it, and it gets crimped pretty tight. So it works out really nice. So these are the things you need for the hat. I would say it's mostly beginner, pretty easy to follow, mostly single crochet and increase. The only difference would be crocheting over the wire in the last single crochet round. And then the finishing edge is a reverse single crochet, or it's also called a crab stitch. And I'll show you how to do that. So let me move everything over. So you're going to start with a magic circle. And this is done in the continuous round. So that's why you'll need your stitch marker. So you've got your magic circle. Let's see, we'll do that a little slower. So this is how I do it. I wrap and crisscross the strands, and then you go underneath, grab your loose one, pull up, and chain one. And there you've got your magic circle. So we start with 6 single crochet in your magic circle. Oops. Four, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you pull your loose string to tighten your hole. And now round 2, for the next several rounds, we're going to increase. For the purpose of this hat, I'm going to go with a toddler size. So we aren't going to do it, so it's a little quicker for the video purposes, but they're all made the same. So for this round, we're not going to join and chain one. You're going to go directly into that first stitch and do a single crochet increase, which is 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And then place your marker in your first stitch. So 1, 2. And now we're just going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. Now, if you like a printed version, you can get the pattern on Etsy. And on Etsy, I have an adult size, and then I have a pattern with youth sizes, well, infant, toddler, a youth child, oops, preteen, and teen size. So they're fun for Easter hats, the beach. I love mine for the beach and in the summertime. So now we're back to our starting single crochet. So in the next round, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase. So that'll be a single crochet in the first spot, and then mark your first stitch, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to continue that around. And then you're going to continue for a few more rows increasing as you go. So this round was 1 single crochet and a single crochet increase. The next round will be 2 individual single crochet with a single crochet increase, and so on as you go through the pattern. So as you're going along, this row we're on 2 single crochet and then a single crochet increase, and a little tip to make sure you're in the right spot or you've got the right stitches. Your increases should all line up. They should all be in a row. So, got another one. Oops. Now, cotton yarn is not stretchy like acrylic yarn. So, it's not tough to work with, it's just a little different. But these are made with cotton, so they are breathable. They don't get hot in the summertime. And they're packable and washable, which is really nice for traveling. So we're at the end of round 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to cinch my hole on the back side. And I'm going to tuck in my ends. So I like to give it a little knot. Pull it tight and then weave my tail in. The Lilies has some great colors. I like to make them in both the solid colors and in the ombres. The ombres are really fun too. So there we're on round 4. We just finished round 4. And so we're going to continue our increase. And this round will be 1, 2, 3 with an increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. All the way around. And we're going to go all the way up to 6 single crochet and an increase. And I'll come back when we're there. I like to add a row of single crochet before I finish my increases. It kind of gives the hat a little more of a rounded effect. So we'll come back when I get to the end of my 6 single crochet increase. Okay, so here we are finishing our 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an increase. And then we're going to finish this round. And then the next round, I like to do a round of just single crochet. It helps to just round off the hat a little bit more. So here's the Toddler hat. And you can see it just rounds the top a little bit. And then this is the brim with the crab stitch. And this has the wire in it. It helps to give the brim a little stability. And then for packing, I always just pack them flat. You can pack them nice and flat. Pack them in a suitcase or a bag. They pop right back up. They can be washed if they get dirty. They're perfect for your beach bag, perfect for traveling. So this is the Toddler size. And then here, let's zoom out just a little. So here is an adult size, and here's one in one of the ombre colors. So the stitches always end up in a different pattern in the ombre, which is kind of fun. And you can use a leather tag if you'd like. I like to put a leather tag on mine. And I always put them at the seam when I end. I'll show you that. So you can kind of see the difference here between the adult hat and the toddler hat. So, kind of leave that right there. So I'm going to finish this round. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and then an increase. 1, 2. Loosen up my yarn again. Okay, this round we're just going to single crochet all the way around. No increases. And then after that, we're going to do one more round of increase. So after you do your single crochet increase all the way around, you'll do 7 single crochet with an increase for one more increase row. And then we'll work on just single crochet around to form your bucket. And then that forms this top bucket. And I like to do, in the toddler hat, I like to do 22 rows. You can always do less if you want it shorter. Or if you need it longer, you can add a row or two. You just continue with your single crochet before you start increasing for your brim. So we're just going to single crochet around. Now, I'm not a tight crocheter, so if you tend to crochet really tight, you may need to increase your hook size to a 6. If you crochet really loose, you may need to go down to a 5. But I've put a little gauge swatch in my written pattern. And again, you can get those on Etsy or Ravelry. If you like to have a printable version that's easy to follow, I have a few photos in there to help with each of the steps. And then I'll have a link to this video also. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our single crochet round. And like I said, we just went around with no increases. So in this round, we're going to do 7. There's, whoops, 2, And put my marker back in. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can already see you're starting to get your shape already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to do an increase. And on this hat, we're going to stop increasing after this round. And you're just going to do single crochet around until you have 22 total rows. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, increase. Six, 7. Okay, I'm going to do my last 2 sets of 7 increase, 7 increase. And then again, I'm going to just do single crochet all the way around, 1 single crochet in each stitch until I get a total of 22 rows. And we're at 1, 2, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at 10 rows now. So we'll come back when we have 22. Okay, we're back finishing our rows of single crochet, and you can see the bucket is starting to form. So let's finish round 22. And then we'll need to start our increases for our brim. And I just continue in the round. So here we are. So our first row, we're going to do, for the brim, we're going to do a row of increases, then a row of single crochet, then another row of increases, and we do 4 rows of increase and 4 rows of single crochet. On the last row of single crochet is when we'll add in our wire for our brim. So let's see, we're going to start with 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Let's put our stitch marker back in our first stitch. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do an increase. So that's 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And we're going to continue that around. Oops. One, 2, 3. And an increase. Okay, we're at the end of our first increase round. So it's 1, 2, 3, with an increase stitch. And on this size, we end up with 2 single crochets on the round. 1, 2. And you can see it's already starting to fan out a little bit. So the next round, we're going to do a whole round of single crochet. And then the next round, we're going to do 4 single crochet with an increase. So each round, you're going to do 1 more single crochet and an increase. So we do a 3 single, 4 single, 5 single, and then 6 and then a single crochet. So so single crochet all the way around. And if you like to have your stitch counts at the end of each row, I do include that on my PDF that you can get on Etsy or Ravelry. So we'll finish this single crochet all the way around, and we'll come back at our next increase. Okay, so we're at the end of round 24, which is our single crochet around, no increases. And we're going to start row 25, which is our second row of increase. So we started with 3 with an increase. This row we're going to do 4 with an increase. So single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, put my stitch marker back in before I forget, 4, and an increase. And you're going to finish this around doing single crochet 4 with an increase. And at the end of each increase round, you'll end with 2 single crochet. You'll have 2 stitches left, and it's just single crochet in each of those stitches at the end of each increase round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a double. And you can see it's starting to bell out a little bit and start to take its shape for the brim. So we're going to continue. This is 4 single crochet 4 with an increase all the way around. Then we're going to do another row of increase. Another row of single crochet. Then our next row of increase will be single crochet 5 and then an increase all the way around with another row of single crochet. And then our last row of increase will be single crochet 6 and then an increase. And at the end of that round, we'll come back and I'll show you how to do the wire for the brim. Okay, we're finishing our last round of increase. So this last round for the toddler hat was a single crochet 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your increase stitch, which is 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and then 2 more, 1, 2, to finish the round. So you can see our hat has formed with the brim, and you can see it's pretty floppy without the wire. You could finish off with one more row of single crochet and then do the crab stitch. But the wire gives you a little more stability. So this is an infant hat that I did. And I chose not to put wire in this one. I think for markets and for selling, probably not the best idea for infants. They put things in their mouth, and if the wire were to break or something weird would happen, it's just protection for you. But if you're making it for yourself and you're cautious and you watch, then you're probably fine to add wire. But I decided to, instead of wire, I did a row of twine in my last row, just to give it a little more stability. And then I did my crab stitch. So you can see, I'll zoom out a little. It bends, still nice and packable. It actually can smush right up. And then you just reshape. So I think on a small size like this, it's fine without the wire. And it did fine with the twine. You could use a macrame cord or some kind of a rope just to give it a little extra stability. But adding the crab stitch to the edge, which looks like this, does help to give it some shape and stability too. So we're going to remove our stitch marker because we're going to join now, because it's really hard to put your wire in when you've got a big step like this. So I'm gonna just do a slip stitch and a chain one to start my wire. Zoom back in. So I already have a small piece. It's the end. It's the end of a bundle of wire, and it's plenty big enough. I'll probably have to cut some off. I usually don't cut it just in case I accidentally cut it too short. Oh, I need my... So when I get started, I like to get my join, my little joint connector on. I don't know if you can see in there. I only do it about halfway because when you're done, you want to fit the other end in. So I only go about halfway. And then I pinch the one side tight so that it doesn't come off. All right. Now we're going to put it on our hat. So I lay it behind. So you start your first single crochet in the same stitch that you did the slip stitch and chain one. And we're gonna single crochet right over top of the wire. And this is your last round of single crochet. You see that wire in there? And I do kind of flatten it out a couple times as I'm going around. It's too soon yet, but let's get a little ways here. Having the joint connector on before you start helps so you can see where the end is. So it's kind of sticking out a little bit. I'm going to push it back. I don't necessarily want my joint way over here. I want it closer to the end because as I'm working my way around, I want to be able to flatten it out the best I can as you're going around here. Sometimes you have to smooth it out a little bit so it's nice and flat. So keep going around. I'll come back when I get close to the end. Okay, we're almost to the end here. And I don't know if you can see, but this side, it's curling up a little bit. I've already started to flatten this side a little bit. So I always lay it on a flat surface and I hold one end, kind of run my hand over it to flatten it out and kind of push the stitches around the wire. Now I'm going to do a couple more here. I want to be a little closer to my join before I cut my wire. And I always make it maybe a centimeter or so longer than I need, or longer than I think I need, and then I put it in the joint connector to just see how close I really am. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes I need to trim just a little bit off. So let's see how close we are. Let's do one more. Oh, we've got a little snag. There we go. All right. So we're nice and flat. Zoom back in. So kind of lay it flat. Make sure my wire is even. And I cut just beyond the center. Can always cut off just a little bit. Cut off my excess. And then put it in and see what I think. Actually, I think that's perfect. Sometimes when I think I cut it a little bit longer, this end might curl a little bit, and that means it's a little long. So as long as the whole thing lays flat and you don't have any bunching, that would be too short. And it lays flat so that when you go to finish, you're nice and flat. So I just realized my yarn is underneath. I'm going to pull that back out. All right, so I'm going to put that back in. And I'm going to use my needle nose pliers. I'm going to pinch that closed. These can be pretty tight. I always make sure it's really good and tight in there. You want to use strong needle nose pliers for these. Yep, and I'm in there good. It's not coming apart. So then we just finish this round. Right over top of the wire. Over the joint connector. On this one, I think I'm going to add one more stitch here to cover that. Let's see if I can get in there. There we go. And then slip stitch to join. And chain one. So there you are. You could be done if you want to. You could just finish the hat and leave it as is, put a tag on it. But I like to add the crab stitch to the edge. It just gives it a finished edge. And again, just helps with the stability of it. The bigger you go with the hat, it's nice to have that extra edging anyway. So, all right, I'm going to show you how to do that. It's been called the crab stitch or a reverse single crochet because you're actually going to crochet this way. So it's like crocheting backwards, kind of. So I like to try to fit into this first stitch right here. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it in there. Let's see. So you stick your hook in and pull up a loop, and then you yarn over and pull through both loops. And then you go to the next stitch, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And sometimes that first one can be a little loose, but once you get going, it lays down. So go into the next stitch, and you'll do the same thing all the way around. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Down into the next one. This one got a little loose here, but we can tuck that in later. But you can see how going backwards gives you this little kind of a waved effect. Try and bring it a little closer here. So here's our next stitch. So we go down into that stitch, pull up a loop. You got 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. In, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, yarn over. In, pull up a loop, yarn over. And you'll finish that stitch. You'll go all the way around. Okay, we're at the end of our reverse single crochet. Finish going by here. Remember, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let's see how far we need to go. We don't want to leave any gap. Kind of lay it on there and see what you think. And that should be good. So I'm going to cut a tail. And I'm going to knot this. All right. And you can either finish here and weave in your ends on the underside, or you can add a leather tag. I'm going to add a leather tag. So let's see here. Oh, that didn't work. have to use a all right. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to tuck my ends down through here, kind of weave it through. And pull that tight. So it's nice and smooth. Now I like to put my tag over where my seam is. So let's see the best place for that today. About right there. So let's weave through a couple more to get closer to my edge of my tag. And I'm going to go down from the bottom. There, and I like to do it twice, just so that it's solid on there. So there you go. And then I'm going to take it over here and knot it, and then weave in my ends. Cut my tail. Straighten it out, fluff, and there you go. So this is the toddler size hat. That's the infant size hat. And here is the adult size hat. All super fun for all ages, great for mommy and me, great for the beach, summer, rainy days when you don't want to worry about your hair. So, happy crocheting!